Now, it turns out Robert Mueller, the special counsel, is investigating the Podesta Group. Keep in mind, it was Tony Podesta is a brother of John Podesta, who was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. That man is, it looks like, according to news reports this morning, this investigation has morphed into a criminal inquiry whether or not his firm, when they were lobbying on behalf of the Ukraine, violated the Foreign Agents Registration Act.
So what happens when Ukraine hired him to promote, and his company to promote their image here in the West? So what happens is, if you lobby on behalf of a foreign government or a leader or political party, you have to file a detailed disclosure about their spending and their activities with the Justice Department. It turns out they, according to this article, they did do that, but not until the media made others aware that they were working with Ukraine, and they didn't file this. So then they go back and they file it. So now Robert Mueller's investigating.
And 3 separate sources back this up. This investigation is taking place. I want to add something else to the fray. They're investigating Paul Manafort for his links to Eastern European countries in Russia and Ukraine. Paul Manafort wasn't even with Trump yet. Then he joins Trump and then says, okay, what's going on there? So looking at Paul Manafort, that's how they discovered the thing with Tony Podesta. I'll add this, too. He was actually promoting the image of Ukraine led by Yanukovych. Yanukovych was allied with Vladimir Putin. The country threw him out. And they said, we would like somebody who represents us, not Vladimir Putin. Putin's response was, we're going to send in the separatist rebels to carve up your country. Hence, we got the Crimea situation, and we still have an infiltration. So when you think promoting Ukraine, you think to yourself, friendly to the U.S. Yeah, this government, but not the one prior to that.
Sure. So it looks as if, as they were looking at Paul Manafort, they realized there were 5 companies, and one of the other companies was the Podesta Group. They didn't file the paperwork, and so that is how we wound up where we are today. It is interesting, though, if they were going to get Mr. Manafort pictured right there on violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act for not filing the paperwork because he was lobbying. You know, is the Podesta Group guilty of the same thing? Well, they certainly were late in filing their paperwork, didn't actually file it until after it hit the press.